Water, earth, fire, air. These are 4 of the 18 different Pokemon types, each living in harmony, until the Fusion Wars began, changing the type balances forever. Flying Pokemon are often the first Pokemon you meet after getting your starter, and this is true across the entire franchise. And at least for myself, it becomes like a second starter to me, and I can't justify removing it from my party. No matter how many other birds and other Pokemon we find along the way, I just can't get rid of my first friend. It's something special to me. So what would you do if you could take those birds and make them super powerful and justify that incredibly poor decision? Well, now you can. This is Pokemon Infinite Fusion, the fan game with over 175,000 different Pokemon combinations. And we're here today to see if we can beat a Harcore Nuzlocke using only flying types. That means if a Pokemon faints, it's considered dead. Our level cap is the next boss's ace, no active items can be used in battle, and we're playing on set mode. Make sure you like and subscribe because
I want my bird.
And they won't give them back to me unless more than 5% of you subscribe. As always, when I do these runs, we're going to be using the debug mode for rare candies, repels, as well as the HM items. I also decided to start with the standard Kanto starters, and we choose Bulbasaur. While he isn't a bird, we have plenty of options before we get to Brock. Blue sends out his Fuse Squirtbander, and while it's a close one, we do manage to grab the win. Along the way, we make a few friends, including a Pidgey, Caterpie, a Spearow, and a Hoot. Before challenging Blue over on Route 22, we fuse our Spearow with a Mankey. Next is Hoot with a Pichu, and I love his little glasses. Then we evolve our Caterpie into a Butterfree, and then with Bulbasaur, we now have wings. P-Hoot makes quick work of both Blue's Pokemon, and we pick up the win without much issue. Skipping ahead to Brock, I'm obviously a little nervous. We have a major weakness against rock Pokemon, and without some luck, I'm expecting to have to redo this a few times. We send out a Spear Key, and Geogy does some good damage against us with Gus, but it wastes his time otherwise, and we get the KO. Dignix knocks us just below half, even with our berry healing us back up. Assuming I lost the run, I just get a one-shot with Low Kick? This thing is supposed to have Sturdy. I legitimately don't know why it didn't, but I'm not complaining. Over by Mount Moon, we're trying to do a little bit of bird watching when we see this bird over here taking care of an injured Geodude. Brock comes over because he thinks we're hitting on his girlfriend and tells us that there are some cool birds inside this cave, so we go check it out. Before heading inside, we fuse our Pidgey with a Nidoran, and this guy is adorable. Inside Mount Moon, Brock was right, and this must be his dream come true because this bird is also a rock. After adding our new friend to our collection, we find these guys dressed in black. It seems like they're up to something, so we follow them deeper into the cave. Along the way, P-Hoot evolves into a Pikahoot, Bulbafree into an Ivyfree, and Pidran into Pidgeorino. We find this cool guy in a trench coat and a fedora bossing everybody around. It looks like they're trying to make a triple fusion. At least this bat is kind of like a bird. They make the scientists fight us, and after taking him out, their machine explodes, and they disappear into the darkness. Over on Route 4, we add a Hoppip to the team, and we make this bat fuse with this fish for this little goofball. After force feeding a bunch of candy, he turns blue and then grows feet. And honestly, I love Gyarabat. I feel so bad for what's going to happen to him later on though. Spear Key also glows up, expanding his wingspan significantly. Blue sees us flying around Nugget Bridge and he demands that we battle him. He sends in his newly evolved bird to try to make us jealous. But Pikahoot doesn't give a hoot though. After a couple of hits and through his potion, we take the Rhino down. Squirtmillion comes out next and we swap an Ivyfree. The entire time I'm doing this fight, I think to myself, I'm pretty sure this guy is Fire Fang. Yeah, I should probably switch out. And then I die. What an unnecessary loss of life. I was literally planning to Leech Seed and Quiver Dance my entire way through this game. And to make such a bad play. I'm sorry, Ivy. My own Nidorino fusion comes in to finish things off quickly. Mantata basically stands no chance to Gus. And Albert doesn't even have the decency to wake up for our fight, ending the battle. We make our way over to Bill, who's performing an experiment to fuse himself with a Pokemon. He realizes his mistake though when he fuses himself with a rock Pokemon, and now he won't be able to enjoy his all-expenses-paid cruise. So he offers us the tickets instead. Before battling against Misty, Pikahoot evolves into a Pika Owl, and this guy looks like he wishes he was Batman with those eyes. Misty compliments us on the majesty of our bird Pokemon, and the battle begins. After setting up a nasty plot, we take out Jiggles, and after we get Ondu low, we need to swap. But don't worry, one wing attack from this big mouth is all it takes. While making our way over to the SS Sand, we grab the Togepi egg, as well as an Nincada. We fuse our Hoppip with a Mareep, and I promise this is going to get cooler when he grows up. Nincada evolves as well, and let's make some more team changes. We fuse Nidorino with Noctowl, and honestly, I love this guy. Nincada with Pikachu for an Electro Ball speed boost build, that should be pretty awesome. Noctrino is given a Moonstone, and Knot King looks like he should be some kind of cool totem creature. Pidgeotto then gets fused with Clefable, and she is so cute. Blue rushes out of the captain's room with fistfuls of bread, throwing them on the ground, screaming about a surprise attack. Then he readies his first Pokeball and sends it out for a battle. So Loom almost gets the one-shot, but we manage to take him out after another 2, but we're lower than I'd like because of the poison. Darbro comes out second, swapping into Gearbat. I'm able to take both it and Mantata down with 1 wing attack each. Warmeleon is his final Pokemon, but nothing can really stand up against my big mouth boy, and we send Blue back in. After we finish up at the party, it's time for us to battle for our 3rd badge, and I'm not looking forward to Surge. At least against Brock we had super effective moves. I got nothing here. I start off with Pikajask, and honestly my plan is just to max out my evasion and try to go from there. After doing so, 2 Sparks take out Volpe. A few Bug Buzzes manage to take down Pikalit and use Surge's potion. But then this jerk doesn't miss Thunder Punch. Are you for real? Light Ball boosted, Speed boosted, Electro Ball was going to be my new endgame. And in his first battle, he dies? Come on. I send Knot King in, and after a few psychic attacks, he goes down, and we get our 3rd badge. As we make our way over to Celadon City to grab some stones, we get a Drifloon. Changing things up a bit, we go ahead and fuse Arcanine with Pidgeotto, and Pidgeotto is fierce. Knowing we need a Dark type for Giovanni, I fuse Umbreon with Fearow, and there is beauty in the simplicity of this design. Our balloon and this magnet rub up against each other, and the result is basically what you'd expect. Okay, finally, you get to see how neat Umpluff is. I love her. After conducting enough static electricity, our balloon becomes a wicked Zeppelin. Blue is in Pokemon Tower, mourning the loss of his Manticate. Grief-stricken, he sends out his Neodo, and gets taken out by our little static ball. And so does the rest of his team. I love this little dude so much. During our post-battle talk, we hear a crash, and see Team Rocket force this old guy up the stairs with them. And then we move on to Celadon City because we're afraid of ghosts. I am not going upstairs. Erika is outside of her gym, trying to find out what kind of plants grow best near a sewer. She talks about how she's seen Team Rocket around, and we tell her that we saw some old guy. And then springing into action, she asks for our help driving Team Rocket out of Celadon because we need to save that guy for reasons. After making our way through the sewers, we find Giovanni, who's already beaten Erika in a battle. So it's time for us to take him on, one-on-one. Arnix gets seeded by our little puffball, and we swapped into Knot King, and after a drill run, the seed finishes the big guy off. Ryros is up next, and a double kick does okay damage, and a rock blast puts us a little lower than I'd like. Swapping into Maglim, I start an evasion strategy that is wildly unsuccessful, so we take it down with 1 mirror shot instead. Hauntcon is such a pain. I swap into Garabat for the Intimidate, do some good damage, but I get slapped down pretty low. So we try to lower it more with Pidgeotto, but apparently that isn't gonna work either. So I send in Umbro, and since he's pretty tanky, he takes a good hit and a feint attack secures us the win. We grab our ghost glasses, and it's time to meet Erika back at her gym. This gym is great, it's full of sexy women. Did you know that male birds are the ones with the colorful plumage because they really need to impress their mates? Erika isn't super into my bird facts, but she is into Pokemon battling, and Executive is a bird after my own heart. But it and all its friends go down without much of an issue, and we secure our 4th badge. At the top of Pokemon Tower, Mr. Fuji explains that it isn't just about showing off our plumage. You need to work on your bird call as well, and he hands us a Pokeflute. We practice our bird calling for this girl over on Route 12, but the only thing we attract is a giant sleeping bear. In the Safari Zone, we grab a Bagon, then evolve and reverse our Arcanine Fusion into Arcagot. And look at my boy! He's just like a cooler Talonflame. In Fuchsia, it's time for us to battle for our 5th badge. Our newest friend comes out, and after 1 flamethrower each, Koga is left only with his Canuck. Normally this thing is a huge issue, but we managed to burn it. So even through its evasion and armor stacking, we do now have the burn, and we also get a Leech Seed off. So this is basically going to do the work for us. For the next few minutes, we just keep on swapping around until eventually this big mess goes down, and we get our 5th badge. While rescuing all the employees at Silph Co, Gearbat loses its legs. I'm so sorry, my friend. Blue makes some kind of bird-watching joke since he's been watching us save all the Silph employees while doing nothing, and this is a horrible time to battle, but whatever, my guy. Let's do it. A discharge from Amp takes Ninojot down in 1, but Tauros does some pretty good damage to us, so we need to swip out. Magnelim gets knocked down to about half, but manages to do trades with Tauros until it finally takes him down. Electados hits us way harder with Hydro Pump than I anticipated. So after one turn, we need to switch. And I sent in Gearbat for some reason. Realizing my mistake, I sent in Knock King, which is also a bad idea. But at least this one works. Starbra has a huge opportunity here to kill us with literally any water move. But a Mega Horn takes him down in one. I slap myself a few times as Warmeleon sets up the rain, so Garabat needs to come back in. It seems a little more interested in raising its defense than fighting me directly, so a few Aqua Tails finish off the battle, and Blue says he'll help us out against Giovanni. Giovanni's talking to the Silph president about the perfect bird, and that's why he needs Master Balls. After seeing us enter the room, he starts ranting about birds and throws his Pokemon out, starting a double battle. We double into Primarino, taking it down quickly, and after Genkan comes out, I swap into Umbro. This guy was created for the sole purpose of dealing with this thing, and with some help from Blue, we make quick work of that monster as well. A heal backup of Sand Queen comes out, and with our tankiness, I'm pretty confident at this point, until I get crit down into the red and then a Sandstorm takes us out. Umbro, thank you for your service. I needed you for these Giovanni battles, and you performed admirably. I sent a Maglum to avoid Sandstorm damage, and after we double into Rairas, we managed to take it down. Sand Queen seems more occupied with Tauros, so after a few more turns, we managed to end the battle and secure victory. Team Rocket and Giovanni leave Saffron, and we're free to grab our next badge. I forgot to show it, but over on Route 16, we grabbed a Doduo, and after getting a Dust Stone, we evolve it and fuse with Aegislash. And I really need to do an Aegislash video. Sabrina was born with psychic powers. Each night, she saw a majestic bird in her dreams. As we approach, she smiles and sends out the coolest dude you've ever seen in Hitmime. Adriel sets up 2 Sword Stances as Hitmime sets up a nasty plot. It hits us for decent damage, but one Night Slash takes him down. Estrion is able to take one Night Slash, but for some reason she doesn't heal up, and Adriel proceeds to one-shot the rest of the team, securing us our 6th badge. There's a quest you can do in Pewter City to get an Old Amber, so after getting that, we head to Cinnabar Island and grab ourselves an Aerodactyl. And now, it's time to take on Blaine. Glue Dash can be an issue, but since we have the power of birds, it goes down in 2 even after a heal. Charodactyl uses Lance's favorite move, but after healing up, we get lucky on a Quick Claw proc and take it down with a few air slashes, and then Magdon down in 1 Earth Power. 9-9 confuses us, so we swip into Garabat, and 1 Aqua Tail earns us the Volcano badge. Word has it that Giovanni's become the greatest bird trainer in the world, and I gotta see this. We go to hitch a ride over to Mount Ever, but Team Rocket steals the ferry there. What the hell? But then we remember we have wings, and we fly there instead. Giovanni reveals that he's captured all 3 birds of legend. He then fuses them together, which is weird because in Mount Moon they had a giant fusion machine that didn't work, but now just regular splicers do this? Well, that's progress. Zabukuno is a run killer, and we have a huge weakness to both electricity and ice, but I believe in the power of my friends. We send Magblim in against this monster, and in Discharge manages to get the para on 2 of the 3 of them, which is awesome. And then again after Giovanni uses the full heal. I went into this fight knowing Mablin was probably going to go down, and I need to get off as much damage as possible as my blimp blasts off for the final time. Thank you for your service, Magni. I send an amp, figuring I need to do basically the same thing, and I get lucky, taking both of the injured heads down. We then get the seed off on Zapdos as he heals up. After a power gem and Zapdos using his Asper Berry, we're able to take this menace down after another 2 power gems, claiming victory and becoming the undisputed Bird Master of the Kanto region. Giovanni runs off in shame, and we get ready for our last badge. Before challenging Giovanni one last time, I evolve back on into a Salamence, and then fuse it with a Metagross. And look at this thing! Despite how it looks, that's steel flying, baby. Turns out Giovanni's been the missing Viridian gym leader. He came back here to rethink his life decisions, but he has time to battle the #1 bird boy in all of Kanto, and this time, he's not holding back. His fully evolved Rhyhorus could be a problem, but he just uses Surf for some reason, and kicks up some sand instead of, doing stuff, and we set up 2 Sword Stances. After that, we proceed to one-shot his entire team with Aqua Tail and secure our 8th and final badge. Blue is back outside Route 22, reminiscing the last time we beat him here. He sees us approach and readies himself for combat. I send an amp out, and I assume I'll just do what I did the last couple times I fought him, and things are going pretty well, until for some reason I think Ampharos is going to be faster than Blastmelion. Literally, what was I thinking? My poor little balloon. He flew too close to the sun. And I'll miss you, buddy. Garabak comes out to make this thing regret ever hurting my little puffball. And then when his sneak comes out, we switch into Knot King and 2 Earth Powers, take him down after we get hit down to about half. Starkazam is his final Pokemon, and Adrio comes out to play, and 2 Nice Slashers finish the job after we punch ourselves in the face a few times. Before taking on the Elite Four, we've used a Honchkrow with an Aerodactyl, and I love this guy, the boss fossil Pokemon, and that is hilarious. Now, going into the Elite Four, we have our team. We're starting off with Archeod, with Flamethrower, Will-O-Wisp, Roost, and Play Rough. Garabad, with Crunch, Dragon Dance, Ice Fang, and Aqua Tail. Adrio, with King Shield, Swords Dance, Night Slash, and Drill Peck. Knot King, with Moonblast, Earth Power, Air Slash, and Roost. Meta Menace, with Zen Headbutt, Meteor Mash, Dragon Claw, and Earthquake. And finally, Haunchedactyl, with Iron Head, Dragon Claw, Earthquake, and Crunch. Lorelei is our first boss here. She sends out Magon, and we start off with Meta Menace. An Earthquake makes quick work of the seal, and out next is Tentacaster. It takes a few hits and a heal, but after getting confused and breaking through for an attack boost, we manage to take it down with a few Meteor Mashes. Weirass is up third, and after we heal up a bit from our berry, and she heals, we smack ourselves hard with Confusion. Swapping into Arca, 2 Flamethrowers manage to take the guy down. Mabro flies a little too close to the sun, and after a couple of Flamethrowers, we finish off both of Lorelei's remaining Pokemon. Bruno is the fighting master of the group, a type that we are perfectly suited for dealing with. Mavire is his first Pokemon, and an EQ KOs. Steechamp gets hit into the red and heals up a few times, but we keep spamming until the healing stops. Magnetics is up third, and I purposefully hit it with a low damage move, that way he won't heal up, and we can avoid the sturdy, and we take it out with an Earthquake. Marochan is next, and a Zen Headbutt heads him deep into the red. Oh my god, he has counter, no! By far my most powerful Pokemon. I could have shuffled my team around more, but I had been with most of it for so much of the game. Menace was my ace. Adrio comes in and takes Bones down. Cycross takes a Drill Peck like a champ, and a close combat hits me super hard, and it would have been bad if not for my berry. Next turn, I use King Shield to make sure I can lower its attack even more before a second one gets us into the deep yellow, but we end up KOing it, ending the battle. Agatha is up next, and Adrio sets up a Swords Dance. Then we lower its attack with King Shield before raising our own attack further. We managed to fight through the first confusion for a one-hit KO. Gendoom and all of Agatha's other Pokemon each go down in one hit, breaking through the confusion, and I love it when a plan comes together. Lance is our final opponent, and dragons are, if nothing else, fancy mythical birds. So let's see if our regular birds can beat them. Lance starts off with a Dragados, and we kick things off with a quick Dragon Claw. We get paralyzed and trade back and forth as Lance burns through all of his full restores. Eventually, an Outrage knocks us so low even after our berry, but we do get the KO. Swapping into Archegot, my plan is to go for Play Rough, but an Ancient Power KOs us right away! Ugh, my Pidgeot's been with us the entire run. I'll miss you, my friend. Knot King's the best bet I got, and a Moonblast doesn't even do half. And I risk a Quick Claw proc for a Roost, and it pays off! Again, I managed to hold on until it's confused, and after it smacks itself down to like 1, it switches into Porydraw. We managed to take it out with 2 Moonblasts because this is the one thing we're faster than. Togenite comes back out, and I send out my Sword Bird, and we hold on for the KO. Typhonair is horrifying for us, but 2 Aqua Tails take him down. Pteranodactyl's only moves are huge hitting recoil moves. Our first hit gets him really low, and knowing we're faster, I go for a second Aqua Tail, but I miss! With 3 Pokemon left, this is honestly the worst shape I've been in going to this champion battle out of any of the runs I've done so far. I start off with Adrio. My plan is just to try to set up and sweep, since I resist basically everything Nidojock can do. I go for 3 Swords Dances, while he goes to increase his evasion as well as his attack. A Wing Attack does a lot more than I wished against us, but we land a hit after a few misses. Blastoise I know has Inferno, but I risk it for the content, and he just decides to use Fire Spin instead, which works out great. Rhyperior Mortar makes me wish I had Sacred Sword as a Nice Slash fails to get the KO, and we go down. Knot King comes in as Blue uses a few of his full restores, and after some trades, we get him taken care of with a few Earth Powers. Starkazam is an issue. I know I don't really have the tools to kill it since I don't have any electric or dark moves on Knot King, but if I swap and die, Knot King isn't fast enough to do anything. So I risk it for the Quick Claw, but if Surf kills me, at least I can get a clean switch now. Surf knocks us wicked low, but berries are fun. Waterfall puts me down to 23 HP, but thanks to the Moxie boost, we get the Yoko. Turtor is his final Pokemon, and honestly, I'm assuming this thing is faster than me because I don't have Aerodactyl's normal speed, but apparently we are faster than a Boltree. And a Crunch sacks it off, and we become the champions by the skin of our teeth. And that is how I beat a hardcore Nuzlocke of Pokemon Infinite Fusion using only flying types. If you made it this far in the video and you aren't subscribed, please do. Only 5% of you are, and it would mean like a lot to me if you did. But I'll catch you next week for the next run. Leave a comment down below with what you'd like to see next and if you have any suggestions for other videos. Anyways, see ya.